Okay, doing a little maintenance here on the 7410. Fuel line strainer got a little bit plugged up, and Dad had heard a weird, ominous squeaking noise. You don't want to have ominous squeaking noises. And I've done this in the past. I'm eating a root beer barrel, by the way. I've done this in the past on this. I'll show you all the parts later. This is I forget what they call it, some kind of a, well, it's a tensioner, automatic tensioner, spring tensioner, but it's got another name to it. But if you listen to it, like Aunt Beth here, you can listen to Aunt Beth. She's always good to listen to.
Complaining about something.
Yeah, what are you complaining about?
Your dad said that.
I know, all about it.
Yeah.
Done.
I had Grant weed whack the other day, but they don't like to walk through the weeds to get to the propane tank.
It's already been taken care of. Don't worry about it. You're a YouTube star.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least 100,000 people will see you.
Yes.
Complaining to me about the propane
weeds.
tank. So I just sent Joe to get the weed eater, and we're going to get the lawnmower out of there and mow that over there. Okay, so now we're done with Aunt Beth. We already got that taken care of. Anyways, I've replaced this before. This is not a cheap piece. I guess I could have probably just changed the whole this part of this, but I decided not to, even though it is the same exact one. What happens with these is they do wear on the inside here. Now, when they fill up with dirt, as you can see here, they get out of balance, and that causes a lot of wear inside here. So it's just easier to change this piece here out, which I have already done. Now, this one here has never been changed, and it's full of crap in there, as you can see. And if you look on the back of it, you can see these little black dots. That is from this thing binding. If I can turn it, I don't know if you can hear that, but if you turn it, oh, there's two bearings in there. One gets bad. They bind each other. They're just bone-ass dry. So this being dry and dirty, it's binding. This one here is binding. It's dry. It's binding. So it's just easier to change them out and save yourself a whole bunch of money in diesel fuel. I will probably save more money in diesel fuel by changing these two pieces on this engine than anything else that I do to this engine. Because if there's a little bind on this one and a little bind on this one, it's robbing horsepower just to turn the idlers and the idlers on these, the tensioner and the idler up there. So this is actually working, or are you rubbing against that?
Probably rubbing up against it.
Yeah, oh, okay. Yeah, no, it's fine. Anyway, yeah, so you change these out and you'll actually go down the road faster because it's not taking the power from the top end of the, top end of the RPM range. So that's one thing that you can do to save fuel and belts and heat and everything else. So the other thing, when you get up around 15,000 hours on your tractor, is motor mounts. Now, Timothy is putting new motor mounts in. Do you have the new bolt?
Yeah, I'm having a hard time putting it in.
Do you have the new washers?
This one's short. It's too short.
How too short?
The size difference.
Well,
it needs to be that long.
This is what John Deere requires.
I put this on. I try to get a nut underneath and will not fit.
What part of new washers do you not understand for the 15,000th time? I have all the parts to replace it with. Put the new washers on, please.
I know that, but still.
How much too short? Half inch?
Not even.
Quarter inch?
Smaller. It's smaller.
It's an eighth of an inch too short?
This bolt is going at the bottom of the mount. I cannot get a nut on.
Okay.
It needs to be this bolt.
It's got to be that bolt.
It's got to be this one. Because
unfortunately, it has to be that one. There is a way to do it.
Obviously, it will not.
You got to C-clamp it. I'm telling you. You know why I'm telling you? Because I know. It has to compress the motor mount, and the motor mount can't be loose. This motor mount bolt is not a motor mount bolt. This is a bolt that I stuck in there because I had broken the other bolt. So those are the right bolts for that. It has to go on that way. So you tighten that up. You're going to tighten up the lower end of the motor mount. see how that picked up the whole motor?
Yeah,
Make sure it's tight. You're gonna have to get a torque wrench on that. How much now? Is it right at the bottom?
Yeah, it's not showing a thread.
So there's going to be a simple solution to that. We can get a jack, a little bottle jack on that, and pry up off of that, because we do have to take this off of here anyway, because it needs new thermostats, in which I have. That's not a torque wrench, but that'll work. Don't break them off. You want your motor mounts to be extraordinarily tight, correct? Well, look, I'm going to show you a trick. Look, you can turn those a quarter. See how much different, how much better that is?
Yeah.
It doesn't, you don't realize it, but if you flip that over, it gives you just a little extra bite. You don't need any more than that. You're going to twist them off. Okay, so we got to figure out how we're going to get that tight. We can use a bottle jack, or we can just get a pry bar and push down on it, because they will compress about a ½ an inch onto there. It won't take much pressure. It's just, you got to put a washer on the bottom too, right? Or is there no rubber down there?
No rubber down there.
Okay, you got it, didn't you?
And
Lo and behold!
shut up.
Woohoo! We got it now. That's not going to fit. They're metric now. These are the standard ones. I love teaching kids that think they know it all. It's just so much fun. Oh, be quiet. So anyway, what we've done here is, this is a new filter, and this strainer plugged up. And Tim put a new strainer on there. If it starves for fuel, it'll burn more fuel to do the same job. So you want to keep your strainers full, fuel strainers clean, and you want to make sure that your water separator is clean. I drained it out the bottom, it's fine. I had replaced this belt, but I didn't replace these. So today was the day, because Dad, my father, swears it made a funky noise. So if it's making a funky noise, that means that one of these idlers was bad, and it was just better to change the whole deal. And that will be that. So what I'm going to do is actually drain out some antifreeze and pull the thermostat housing apart. I do have a new gasket, which I might as well show you where it is. I'm rather surprised. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that a bad thermostat will just overheat your engine, especially if they're stuck open. Yes, stuck open. These thermostats generally stick open, not closed. And when they stick open, the water flows through them continuously, and it doesn't have time to cool in the radiator. So when you're running your tractor, these are constantly opening and closing, opening and closing. So your engine gets warm. It gets to, like, I think these are 180s. I don't even know. It should say it right on it what they are. But usually 180 degrees. And in the winter time, if they're stuck open, it never warms the engine up, and it just gets to be a real pain in the ass. But in the summertime, you think that your radiator's plugged because it's overheating. Well, it's not overheating. It's your thermostats are bad. There it is. It says right there. That is a 180 degree one right there, if I could get it to focus. But right there it says 180 degrees. So when they stick open, it never heats it up in the wintertime, and it never cools it off in the summertime, because they have to actually open and close. In the few minutes or seconds that it is closed on the radiator side, it will cool in the radiator, then they open up, and then all that hot water goes through the engine, back into the radiator, and then they close, and then it's just a cycle. It opens and closes, just like that. So while Timothy is messing with the motor mounts on the other side,
It's going to be a bitch. We're just going to have to drain the antifreeze.
we have to drain the antifreeze anyway.
The entire thing.
Why?
Because I got to take the hose and the pump off to get to it.
You don't have to take the pump off to get to that.
Well, look.
All right, I'm going to go look, because I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
Look.
I don't believe you. So, yes, Mr. Tim, what happened? Daddy came along and said, hey, you know, you don't actually have to take that apart. There's enough room. You can get it from the top side. You need to do it in reverse. So you go from the bottom up, put a wrench on the top, and you're good to go. So, wow. So he's loosened up these. Now he's got to loosen up that. And I'm going to have to pull them thermostats out of there. So, Grandpa have a tractor that actually runs really, really good no matter what. Right? So we just got to do maintenance on this one. Everybody's wondering, what are you going to do with the 7410 when you get the 8120 with the loader on it? Well, the 7410 is going to continue to do the job that it's always done, only a little less. Just a little bit less. There's no need to retire it or whatnot. Just use them both, because we can always use them both. Always. Now we get these on there. Tim will be in good shape. Mr. Joseph is going to run that out there, 50/20, that tank, all the way around that tank, everything from here, clear up. Got it? Glasses. Cool. So the silly thing about motor mounts is you just don't realize they're bad until, you know, you just really don't realize how bad they are until you get them out of them. And this is pretty bad. There's no rubber left. This is just completely squished out and gone. It will cause your squeak in the front end when you're lifting heavy stuff or pushing really hard, because it will torque it. What are you trying to do? Go ahead and start the thing up and see what happens. You gonna start it or what?
Yeah. Stand right here.
Okay, this would just. Go ahead, give it a shot. I'm wondering what the back ones look like. What do you think the back ones look like? I don't know if you can get to them very easy. Looks to me like it. Well, 50% better. I do have the back ones. If it continues to make that squeaking noise, then I know that the back ones are bad too. The front is where they will normally go bad because of the front ones will normally go bad because of the torque at the front. It's going to always rise in the front and push in the back. So the front is going to rise long before the back, but these are just gone. Junk. So anyways, with that being done, let's move that cardboard out of the way. We're going to get a bucket. Yeah, he's got them in there good. I used Nylock Crone nuts. Nylox for that. But this is where your thermostats are. Right here. So we could probably just, right here's the drain plug. Here's your temperature gauge or temperature sensor right there. But there's the drain plug right there. I hate the fact that they put those things there. I think there might be one underneath here, but that doesn't help us too much. But if I pull that plug right there, that'll drain out. It's going to run down on the side of the damn tractor. What a pain in the ass. But I'm going to do it anyway, because at least I know when it stops running here, then I can take these off safely without having any problems with antifreeze running all over the place. So that's what we're going to do right now. Okay, and away we go. Or I go. Or Tim goes. Or both of us go. I've sped this up because, we don't want a video too damn long. But anyway, yep. Got to put the thermostats in there. Got a new gasket. I had to clean off the old gasket because if you don't, it will leak, and we don't need leaks. There is one more thing that needs to be done to this tractor after after Friday. I think I'm going to do it on Saturday. Is I'm going to pull the hood off, pull the loader off, and I'm going to pull the valve cover off. And I will be putting in new valve seals. This tractor's got over 15,000 hours on it, and it's just, valve seals go bad. And when valve seals go bad, you get blow-by from the compressor side or the intake side of the manifolds, or the intake valves. They're going to leak compressed air or air up into the top of the valve cover, and that'll actually blow oil out of the valve cover, down the tube, and out onto the ground, which is not something you want to have happen, and it is starting to happen now. I thought I had turbo issues, but fortunately, it was not turbo problems. It was those that I'm I'm almost certain that it's valve seals, which is a good thing anyway, because I can readjust my valves when I get those seals off, and I'll show you all how to do that. You have to pull an injector, put air down in there, and hold the valves up as you're replacing the. It's a two-man job, I would think, but we'll see how that goes. Hopefully I don't have to pull an injector, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to pull injectors. So anyway, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you didn't, I'm sorry, but you can click the like button and check out Ag Talk in the Raw.